Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this edition of Liverpool Latest. I guess I'm not gonna lie, this is not a video I'm looking forward to making and talking about. All I can say to start this off is if you are in fact a fan of Liverpool Football Club, you might be entitled to compensation. And apparently 61,000 people who were in Anfield this evening deserve a refund because apparently the quality of football that was put on display was so horrifically bad that, and I'll read these stats off to you to get us started, 6 losses in 7 games and 1 shot on target. I have no words. In the words of the great, well, outside of these words, from the great DMX from the song Rough Riders Anthem, all I know is pain, all I feel is rain, and how can I maintain with that shit on my brain? That's exactly how I feel at this point in time being a fan of this team. Don't get me wrong, I still love this team. I wouldn't support this team if I didn't love them, but right now we're in a very rough spot that I don't know can be fixed. And we have a very grueling schedule coming up with, I think, 3 games in the next 8 days. Thankfully, our schedule is now a little bit more cleared up going forward, considering that we've been eliminated from the EFL Carabao Cup now, which kind of pains me a little bit. And I say that because, and I said this last time, the Carabao Cup means a little bit more to me because it was the first title I ever saw Liverpool win against Chelsea a few years ago. Now, I'm keep in mind, I had started watching the team or paying attention to the team not too long after we won the FA Cup. Reason being is because my buddy is a big fan and he always talked about them. So I was like, you know what? Let me give Premier League football a shot after all these years. I've been looking to do it anyway. Let's give Liverpool a shot. After a couple of years of struggle, the Carabao Cup was the first title I saw us win when I was drunk off my ass in a bar in New Jersey, actually my old college hangout spot. And I just was so happy that day. I don't think I've ever been more happy when I was drunk than that day. So the Carabao Cup means something to me on a personal level. Unfortunately, yet again, we are eliminated for the second year in a row, this time in a much earlier round. Last time we were beaten by Newcastle in the championship, no less. I'm hurt. I'm hurt. I'm appalled. I can't even really say I'm angry because it was something I expected. I mean, let's be honest. When you're looking at this lineup that Arne Slot has put together, I said this on Twitter. I expected what I saw, and I was still upset. It didn't even matter what the lineup was because it just felt like a formality. You know, like once you saw all the names, you're like, well, we're fucked. The next 90 minutes plus to follow were just like a formality of the whole thing. It's disgusting. I mean, let me read off the starting 11 for you. We had Woodman, who I knew was going to start. I had reported that a couple of times. Joe Gomez, Wataru Endo, Milos Kerkez, Alexi McAllister, Federico Chiesa, Andy Robertson, Naoni, Calvin Ramsey, Morrison, and Ngumoha. I don't know how to properly say some of these names. I apologize, but that's what we had. No Van Dijk, no Konate, no, not even Eddie TK, man. They could have threw Eddie TK in there. I'm actually angry they didn't. I don't know what to say about this lineup. This just screams, I don't want us to win. Now, personally speaking, as a competitor, well, I'm not a competitor in sports, but if I was a competitor in this sport, the effort overall by this team would make me angry. And I don't care what type of contest it is. It could be Premier League, it could be League Cup, it could be Champions League, could be anything. All right? If I'm a competitor, I'm going to do the best I can. And it seems like even with the limited resources this team did have, they did not put their best foot forward, not even scoring a goal. As I said, one shot of was actually on target. Oh, did I mention we got a red card too? Nalo got us a red card early on in the game. Not early on, late in the game. Amara Nalo at the 79th minute was a red card. Again, don't even know what it's for. Doesn't really matter at this point. The guy doesn't even play really anyway. He was clearly just a backup, leading to Jeremy Pino to score in the 88th minute. I mean, we had 10 men at that point, so there really wasn't too much we can do. It's rough. And I saw people cooking Slot on the timeline because of this lineup. Cooking him. I have never seen a more collective anger than I did in quite some time. Honestly, this whole couple of weeks, I've never seen a more collective group of anger amongst fans. I mean, I can name a couple of times. Frankly, the Tottenham game a couple of years ago where we were absolutely screwed over still brings me PTSD in my dreams and nightmares, and that's a different story for a different time. It's bad. It's bad. This lineup was bad. I don't know what they were thinking. I want to read off some quotes here by Arne Slot that was reported by a Liverpool LFC transfer room on Twitter. This is a quote directly from him. If you look at the week coming up, that is going to be a big week for us, everyone and the club. We need as many players as we can. You can see today with the lineup I had to make. I only rested the players that have played mainly in the last week. This is the lineup you get. That shows you already have a few injuries. With a big week coming up for me, it felt the best choice. Might have felt like the best choice for him, but it clearly was not the choice that garnered any results. So he goes on to say, this club has always chosen in the League Cup to give players time to young academy players as well. Our squad is probably not as big as people think it is. There has not been a change in the way we look at this. That quote confuses me a lot. I'm not going to lie to you. Our squad is probably not as big as people think it is. I mean, honestly, due to the effort today, I can see what he means, but I feel like it comes off wrong. When he says there's not been a change in the way we look at things, I mean, I don't know. I don't think so. I think even the veteran players that were on the field probably could have done a better job. And this is horrific, man. And I know I keep bringing that up. It's like I got nothing else to say, but I have nothing to say at this rate. The lineup was horrendous. The effort was even worse. And again, it's just one of those times where you see what you see the lineup and you already know you're going to lose. This was clearly showing that they didn't even have an inkling to even try to win the game. Like I said, you could have easily threw Editike in there for striking with Chiesa. I think they both could have been phenomenal together. Okay? The fact that that wasn't even an option is horrific, regardless of whether Editike played much or not. But obviously the injuries also played a big part in this. I can't negate that. Alisson Becker is clearly missed. No one. It goes to show that anyone who steps in goal as the keeper has big shoes to fill and a giant shadow that they have to remove themselves from. And clearly, Mamarstashvili and the other guy who came in today, it doesn't even matter to say his name at this point, Woodman. There's no comparison. There is absolutely no comparison here. Okay? So we with all the money we spent, I just feel like there's so many holes in our game, and clearly this game showed that. This match showed that. Now we have Villa coming up this weekend, which I don't know what the fuck's going to happen with that. I'm sorry to curse, but I genuinely have no idea what is happening. What's going to be the game plan? I know slot rested players, but in the end of the day, is that really going to matter if they don't put their best foot forward come match day? We'll see about that. In addition to players and lineups and such, there's been some talks actually about Andy Robertson. They're looking to give him an extension, which I'm not necessarily surprised by to some extent, but I'm also kind of not super happy about it. Yahoo Sports reported this today that I saw. It said Football Insider has reported that Liverpool are in quote-unquote talks with long-serving stalwart over a new contract as the club continues its focus on squad stability and leadership. While much of the discussion has centered around Konate's contract situation, given that he's probably talking to Real Madrid, it is understood that the discussions now also involve Andy Robertson, whose deal is due to expire at the end of the season. I don't know. I like Andy Robertson as a person and as a leader on the team. I don't like Andy Robertson much as a player. People are constantly talking about online, and I don't subscribe to this mentality, not in the slightest, of telling fans that, like, oh, when someone leaves, for instance, like Luis Diaz or Darwin Nunez, who had great moments on the team, but overall they kind of fell flat for what was expected of them. Okay, let's just be honest. They were like, now that they're kind of doing well in other spots, they're like, oh, I missed them. I really like, and regardless of how much you like them, like, don't get me wrong, I love Luis Diaz, man. Darwin Nunez, I have a love-hate relationship with him. But I'm not going to sit here and say I want Darwin Nunez back, given that he did absolutely fuck all for us the last couple of years he was there. I feel the same way about Andy Robertson. Last year was horrific for him. So many mistakes on defense he made. And because of that, we just, honestly, there were times where I thought we weren't going to win the league because of those mistakes he was making. Even mistakes he makes now still kind of drive me nuts a little bit. So, as much as I would hate to see him go from a morale perspective and a leadership perspective, as a player, he's aging. He's an aging player who will have to keep up with younger, faster players when he has to go on the back foot when they make their push in the offense. And I don't see him staying. I don't really see them offering him a big enough contract worth for him to stay. I think they'll probably offer a little bit more than what he's probably making right now. But realistically, I think he has to look at himself in the mirror and say, is my efforts good enough for the overall team for me to stay? Because at the end of the day, a lot of players, it's just about money. The NFL has this problem a lot. The NHL has this problem, the NBA, MLB, and so on and so forth. You can get paid all you want. Doesn't matter if results don't come. Looking at you, Juan Soto. But I'm kidding. But I don't see Andy Robertson staying after this season. I think it would be a great parting of ways if we can get some more wins under his belt so it doesn't look so embarrassing for him. But I don't see him staying with us past this season. I just can't foresee something along that line. Not saying it's not impossible, but it's not a decision I personally would like to see for the team and for the overall team perspective. Other contracts that are being discussed, I heard earlier today, actually not too long before and after the game, Fabrizio Romano, who is very good at reporting news when it comes to Liverpool, oftentimes someone that is cited online by other bigger Liverpool accounts, they're preparing to begin contract discussions with not only Dominic Szoboszlai, but also Ryan Gravenberch, um, which is weird because their contracts don't necessarily end until 2028. But they want to ensure long-term future given his importance to the team. And frankly, Gravenberch has been doing well for us this season. He has off days, everybody does, but he has been someone that has performed quite well when we need him to. I will say the same thing for Dominic Szoboszlai. He's the best player on the team, if not one of the best. He's the only one that actually puts an effort on the pitch every time I watch them play. So for them not to extend those two would be ridiculous, or at least make an attempt to. What that might cost, I have no idea, but it seems like there's options for them to hopefully stay past 2028. After all, I think they're key members of the midfield. They're key pieces to the team. And I think if they continue to stay, they could also be key leaders once the days of Van Dijk and Salah and Robertson are gone. So, and it does mention from this article that both moves underline Liverpool's strategy to maintain squad stability while rewarding influential players who have made an impact since joining the club. And I think that's all you need to say at that point. These are two players that have easily been some of the more noticeable when it comes to playing well. And we'll just have to see where it goes. I don't know how long these talks will go. Clearly, I will be here when that time comes to break whether or not they move forward with a contract. But I'm not too worried. I think I can see them staying a little while past 2028. Again, I think it's really early to have these kinds of talks, considering they just signed on with the team. I mean, Szoboszlai did 3 years ago almost now. Gravenberch, I think, was last season. So, there's a lot of potential there, I think. And if maybe Gravenberch was earlier. Man, my memory is off today. But either way, thank you guys for watching today's Liverpool Latest. I'm just so defeated. And I'm sorry the effort today, not just from me, but from the team, it brings you down. It really does. But I think if I'm not upset, it means I don't care. So I do care. I care enough to come on here every single day and make content for you. And I hope that you enjoy it. And I hope that you chime in on your thoughts, whether or not you agree with me. By all means, keep it respectful in the comments. I do want to know. So thank you guys for checking out another edition. And I will see you tomorrow.